Good evening and welcome to On the Rise. I'm your host, Mike Feinberg. With me as always, my partner, David Shore. How you doing, David?
Good, bro. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. Hanging in there. Just another day, right?
Yeah.
We're coming to you on a rare Wednesday afternoon because why not?
Yeah.
We've tried all the other days and times. We might as well keep switching it up. Of course, we got Gerardo Ramos and Amarno Gonzalez here in the background, working the switches, so to speak. We have a couple of guests with you tonight, and we're going to bring them out here shortly. You'll see hear from a couple of fighters that fought in our last card. And then we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up. I know, David, you've been hard at work with Armando about trying to set up these new fights coming up soon.
Yes, it's definitely not an easy job. I've been talking to a lot of people, and it's been really interesting.
Right. So, how many fights did you say so far you've kind of got working?
I'd say we're almost set. Truthfully, there's a few pieces to the puzzle, but we're pretty much completed. All
that in about 6 weeks ahead of schedule.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's bound to move around, but. You just keep plugging away, and it's going to be a great card. A lot of good prospects. Yeah, it seems that way. I know a lot of those guys are coming back and returning again from last fight, right? So interested to see some of those guys. I know they made a big splash. The fans definitely love them. Right. Great to see these guys come back out again. So we had some fighters on, of course, last week. If you guys missed the show, go back and tune in and check it out. We had 4 of the fighters that fought for us last time on the show last week. It was pretty enjoyable to hear what they had to say, learn a little about their training regimen and what they've got going on in camp. So this time around, we're going to bring a couple of guys out, and they are going to talk to you about what they've got going on in camp and what they've got coming up for their future fights as well. So before we actually get to those guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to put our ad up there for you. Now, understand, again, if you have not already downloaded the app, here's a little preview of how you can do that. We'll be right back with you in just a minute.
Jason, the article. Oh! Are excited and ready for the second bout of RIZE.
All right, we are back. Hopefully you got a quick chance to check our preview of our app. So again, RIZE FC. If you haven't downloaded it, please do so. That's the only way you're going to be able to watch these live fights that we have each and every time out. RIZE X is going to be our pay-per-view platform that we have. We are going to show at least one fight free before that platform comes on. $4.99 a month. You're going to get content each and every month. So hopefully you'll download that and check out our next event. July 17th, we have our next event at Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale, right off Powerline Road. That's what held the event last time out. It's going to hold the next one as well. People enjoyed it. Why not do it again? Right. So just like it was magic, we've been joined by Dylan Inman here on my right-hand side. Dylan, how you doing?
I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself?
Good. Doing all right?
Good to see you, my dude. Yes.
So Dylan, of course, fought on our last fight card.
Yes, sir.
You actually had the headliner. You were the main bout, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your preparation prior to that fight to get to that point, and then kind of everything that happened that night.
Yeah, so leading to that fight, I kind of was just focusing on my normal regimen of just jiu-jitsu and what I do in my day-to-day life. I was training with one of my old training partners, or one of my brothers, Al Dragallo, who is also a fighter of RIZE, and I was training with Mr. Matt Barrows, and just absorbing as much knowledge as I possibly can. And Mr. Matt was, such a blessing to me and teaching me, at the beginning of my mixed martial arts journey. So, I was just doing my regular training, as much as I possibly can. And Al was preparing to fight on one of the cards, and he actually injured his knee. So he was intended to fight one of the previous opponents that you guys had set up, and then he couldn't pull through. So I kind of made a call on short week notice, asked some of my coaches, and kind of made a mental decision that I was going to fill in if the opportunity was available. And I made that decision. When I first started this MMA journey, I wanted to be, a fighter that can fight any place, anytime, anywhere. That's kind of who I've always been as a person. It's got me into a lot of trouble, but now I have the opportunity to, kind of vessel in a positive place and, exhibit some skills that I've been picking up along the way. So I know I got the green light with all my coaches, made the decision to commit to that fight, committed to it, and you know, that was it. You know, in my mind, you know, I plan on taking this fighting thing, you know, all the way. You know, when I do something, I do it 100%, you know, and I intend to be the best at what I do, you know, so I will be a champion one day, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there. So, you know, for me, it was just a part of getting started, you know, so I made that decision and committed to it. And for me, it was, you know, making weight, you know, committing to my person that told me to what I was committing to. And, you know, I'm a man of my word. My yeses are my yeses and my no's are my no's. So I did everything I could to make weight. It was pretty brutal, you know, because it was I haven't cut weight since I was in high school for wrestling. So it was definitely a adjustment, quick. I didn't have much knowledge or resources on how to do it properly or exactly what to do. So, you know, it was kind of just figure it out. And, you know, like I said, previous to the fight, I was just doing my regular training, kind of tried to pull together my own little quick camp, you know, with some guys, and was super blessed to have some. I was actually training with American Combat Gym as well, just kind of going all over the place because my brother Sal Hernandez trains at American Combat, so I was just utilizing all of these amazing, you know, resources that I have to better myself as a mixed martial artist. And when I was getting that fight set up, I wasn't planning on fighting LJ when I committed to the fight, you know, and but once I committed. So I know, like I said, I fear no man but God. So when I step in that cage, I'm ready to go to war, you know, and I'll and I, you know, I know I have some things to learn in different types of areas, but I believe that I have what it takes to be a, you know, a warrior of a fighter that steps in that cage and leaves it all in there. And you know, that's kind of what I've done with everything in my life. So it was exciting to get that opportunity. I didn't get to, you know, show much of that due to LJ's amazing execution on that slam, and it's one of those things in MMA where, you know, it happens. And I've been hit harder, and I'm sure I will be hit harder, so I'm excited to do that, you know. So yeah, it was just lots of preparation, trying to make responsible decisions moving forward, and that got prepared, got ready to fight, and fought.
Nice, good stuff. And now you're training with LJ, right?
Yeah, yes, sir, man. And he's such an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
You know, all those guys in American Combat Gym, they're just such amazing athletes in general. And then as fighters, they just have such a progressive mindset. And, you know, Alder Gallo as well, Mr. Matt Barrows, such amazing people. Henzo Gracie Lake Worth, you know, that's my family gym. I trained there with my father and the rest of my amazing teammates. Just a bunch of killers, you know, and my amazing coach, Professor Santos Cuban, you know, my wrestling jiu-jitsu coach, and all the amazing coaches, Mr. McCarthy and Coach Toledo, you know, all these amazing people that have just been so welcoming to me, allowing me to train in there, you know. And then now me and LJ have the opportunity to train together, and he's a killer, and I know why, because he puts his head down, and he's humble, and he eagerly wants to learn, just like everybody else in that gym. So real recognizes real, and if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. So you know, I plan on being humble in defeat and humble in victory, and you know, I'm grateful to be where I'm at, and I'm excited to move forward in whatever the Lord has for me.
For sure, yeah. There's some sickos over there.
Yeah,
he's
straight
over here
killers.
hanging out last week.
Oh,
we trained
man.
3 times today. We might train again.
Like,
know?
it's nothing, dude. And I go in there, and I'm like, I don't know if it's just because I'm so new to this game, but I go in there every single day, and I feel like I just am getting my butt handed to me on all different fronts, no matter what it is, you know. But I know that that's what it's going to take to go somewhere, and you know, like you know, iron sharpens iron, you know. And there's a bunch of sharp pieces of iron in that gym, and I'm excited to help them. You know, I love the team aspect. There's a big team aspect there, and I came from playing college football where I won a championship in Kaiser University. Shout out my boys, and I won champion. I know what it takes, so I just look forward to being as useful to them as I possibly can, and picking up as much as I can along the way.
What position in football?
I played linebacker.
Sick.
Yeah, I worked from safety a little bit to outside line and outside linebacker, and then I was going into my junior year, and I finally got to go in the box and hopefully bang some guys up. But I kind of departed from college before I went into my junior year.
Yeah, you're probably a lot bigger, huh?
Yeah, I actually got up to 205 pounds.
Yeah.
Heaviest I ever won. I was a skinny kid though. When I first started high school, I was about $105, soaking wet. You know, everybody would make fun of me. It's kind of one of the reasons I got into so many fights, because I was that scrawny kid growing up in the not so best neighborhood, having to always, you know, defend myself and do different types of things to, you know, gain respect, you know, in some trials and tribulations that I've been through in my life. So it's just all, you know.
Plus, you got wrestling as a base, which is
Yeah,
always
yes,
great
sir.
for MMA.
Yeah, and you know, my wrestling coach in Jensen Beach High School was a very incredible human being, because he instilled something in me that has never left me. You know, and that's I will never quit. You know, other than the aspect of you know, go in there with the attitude that you're gonna have to kill me, you know, before I go down. You know, he put something in me that has never left, you know. So I'm excited to continue to show that in my fighting, you know, down the road.
For sure. And you think you got to speak to your coaches and whatnot?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yeah, like I said, you know, I'm going to try to make the best discerning decisions as possible, consult with my resources and my coaches. Like I said, I want to be a fighter that's prepared to fight anytime, any place, anywhere. That's who I am as a human. But also in that, I want to be responsible with decision making, you know, in my fight career so that I can have some longevity. So, yeah, like I said, can talk to my coaches, talk to my team, see what they think best, you know, talk to my parents, family, church, you know, all.
For sure.
Talk to the man upstairs, and if everything works out, then it's a blessing.
I mean, look at Greg Hardy, right? Look
yeah, man. I know. One of my coaches, Coach D at my gym, amazing, ridiculous. He's just like Spider-Man when it comes to just, he wraps you up with his whole entire body. It's the most incredible thing I've ever seen. He trains with, you said Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy, yeah.
That's his whole camp. He's their big jiu-jitsu guy, and he's incredible. I've already learned so much from him. So yeah, very cool.
So and you want to give a shout out to? I mean, you basically gave a shout out to all your coaches.
No, I kind of put everybody in there when I was doing the whole thing.
Well, yeah, you seem like a good dude, and like you said, you got an athletic background in college and wrestling in high school. Yeah. So, I mean, you'll go far, and you seem super dedicated. So,
yeah, I'm excited.
I mean, I can't wait to see you perform again.
Thank you.
Even the short time that I saw, you know, during the fight, you were staying off the line, you were moving, and I was pretty impressed by that. You had a good head movement, and
you know, going into that fight, I felt very confident. I felt very prepared. Obviously, now looking back, I can see some areas where I could have been a little bit more prepared through American combat exposing that to me. But you know, I'm like I said, I'm a person that's ready to go to war. I grew up fighting. It's what I do. Now I have an opportunity to do it in a controlled fashion, and I know what I signed up for, and that's violence. And I'm ready to bring violence at all times, you know, and in all areas of that cage. So
and so you got a good base with your family too, right? You said your dad trained as well?
Yeah, my dad does jiu-jitsu. He's become one of those guys that when we're on the mats, I turn the other way because I don't really care to train with him because he's an animal. I'll show him stuff and I'll regret showing him stuff because he's definitely always right there to put me in my place.
That's good to have, though.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing.
Awesome.
Well, it's like you said, you know, we didn't get a chance to see enough of you the last time out, so we are interested to see it again because we heard so many things, all these rumors about how good you are.
No, man.
We definitely want to see you in action.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Like I said, you know, I've definitely been blessed with some athletic abilities. Thankful to my Lord for that. But I'm only as good as my teammates and my coaches, and I've just been blessed with some amazing teammates and coaches. So I'm excited to exhibit that and continually get better every single day. You know, when I go into the gym, I leave my pride at the door, and I go in there as a humble mixed martial artist with full intentions of getting better. And I kind of try to take that approach with everything in my life. And it just so happens to be useful in this game, you know. And I am learning from some really amazing guys, I'm training with some really amazing guys, and you know, I think I have what it takes to be successful in this sport when it comes to competing at a championship level. I don't think there's many human beings in this world that are willing to do what I am willing to do and put myself and my body through what I'm willing to put myself through. But then again, you know, I'm just a humble slave doing the duty that my Lord has commanded me to do, and I plan on sweating more in preparation, and I bleed less in battle and war, you know, so it's part of the game.
Awesome.
It's like they say, you know, you're with ACG now because, you know, what they say is if you can't beat them, you join them.
Beat them, you join them, you know. and me and LJ have had some funny opportunities to get a good laugh about it. You know, like I said, it was one of those things that when I go into that cage, I plan on exhibiting violence. You know, if it wasn't me, it was going to be him. And, you know, I think we both had a respect for that. And, like I said, I'm excited to learn from LJ, and hopefully I can be useful to him and go on in this journey of, you know, mixed martial arts and fighting in championships and stuff.
Right. Well, one move different obviously could have changed a lot of things. We could have possibly seen 3 good rounds.
Yeah. Like I said, I was ready to go to war, and I know that LJ was as well. So.
Right. So really quickly, I see this big ring on your finger.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So is that the championship ring?
Yeah, this is my conference championship ring. I won it in 2019 with my Kaiser University football brothers. I was actually the first signing class in Kaiser University history, and played football there for a couple of years, and had some success. You know, brought my team. I was actually eventually put into a leadership position as a captain, and brought my team to championship, and you know, had a real fun time doing it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's good, man. Well, it was great spending some time with you, getting to know a little bit more about you.
I appreciate you having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Nice seeing you.
Yes,
Look forward to seeing you again in the near future.
Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do real quick is before we bring out our next guest, we're going to break for the other commercial, and this is going to be our sponsor, DV8. Look forward to seeing you back here in just a minute.
This is Kerry from DV8 Motorsports. I want to welcome you to our world and give you a little insight into what we do. From the lift kits, lowering kits, custom wheels and tires, gas, diesel performance and accessories. We do it all here in-house. All of our services we offer, we install everything. Come follow us on social media, Facebook or Instagram, DV8_Motorsports. Take a look at what we do, what we have to offer. We're located at 1018 North Federal Highway in Lake Park, US 1, just south of North Lake Boulevard, or you can give us a call, 561-840-2023, or shoot us an email, dv8motorsports@yahoo.com.
We have no more commercial. And we are back. Hopefully you got a chance to check out one of our sponsors there at DV8, that little promo. And now, look, Dylan is gone, but now Ryan is here. So we got Ryan Ocasio. Ryan, how you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
Ryan, of course, fought in our last card as well. Ryan had a first-round submission victory over Sam Mercado.
Yes.
Right, so tell us a little bit about kind of the preparation that led up to that fight and how everything went that night for you.
Honestly, the preparation is the same how I take my regular training because, honestly, we're still at the amateur level. Still got to go over the basics, fundamentals, everything. So, honestly, I don't believe in prepping for just one guy right now at the amateur level. Like, if you're getting clipped with 1-2 at the amateur level, you shouldn't even be turning pro. There's levels to this game, and I knew he wasn't on my level to begin with. Granted, on paper, I should have lost that fight, but I just knew he wasn't game.
Okay. So your preparation is pretty standard. You're training always the same way for each fight.
Yeah, right now, there's no reason to flip the script or do anything certain for a certain opponent, because right now I'm a dog for anybody in any division.
And how did you know that night, you know, when you had the opportunity, when you had him, you basically knew the moment was coming?
As soon as he threw that first kick, because he didn't set it up, he's flat-footed, and once he threw that kick, I just backed up. I'm like, oh, it's in the pits. Just used my jab, feint, and he was biting heavy. Whoop, overhand, right over the top, stung him, but here's where I'm still an amateur. I admired my work. I backed up, I jumped, I got excited. I should have just, boom, hook right there. But it is what it is. He backed up to the fence, took my shot, take him down. He got up. He tried to take me down. And me with my wrestling is levels above these guys. I was like, oh, nope. Threw him, got a little ground and pound in, which I have to work on. I saw the film. It's sloppy. But then he gave me his back. I'm like, dog, come on. Had a little hits in just to beat the potatoes up. Once I got the rear naked in, it wasn't in deep enough. But Toledo was like, yo, just switch your arms, dog. I'm like, all right, word. Whoop, switched. And that's all she wrote.
That's it. That's
yeah.
it. I know, David, I got some questions about his training camp and his
No, I just like how you critique your work, you know. I mean, everything can always be better, and, you know, I'm sure you watched it more than once and you know, criticized yourself, but you were awesome, bro. And
Thank
you
you.
Fucking killed it. And, I mean, as far as, you know, like you said, your wrestling is super superior, and that will take you super far in MMA just wrestling alone.
Yeah.
You know? So.
You know, there's levels to this game. You have to critique your work. If you go in there and get the dub by a decision, like, yeah, I just won my fight. No, you didn't win the fight. If you're an amateur and you went to a decision, stay an amateur.
Yeah.
That's how it has to be.
I also appreciate, I think you told me that you came from, so you're from New York and you came down here by yourself, right?
Yeah, I live by myself. I live in a trailer park right now, $750 for a room for rent. Get the fuck out of here. Pardon my French, but, like, I mean, it's hard. You gotta do what you gotta do at the end of the day. And we're mixed martial arts. It's not an easy life, you know what I mean? Just gotta go with it.
You're gonna have that Conor McGregor story above their parents' basement initially.
I mean, I think my story would be better, honestly.
Yeah,
you know.
For sure. Well, like, it takes balls to go anywhere without any family and do your own thing. And like you said, you're paying your own way and doing your own gym, you know, regiments and whatnot.
Yeah, you know, and here's the thing. Like, granted, Conor McGregor's great, you know what I mean? But in his division, he already had names.
Sure.
Flyweight division, it's kind of hard.
For sure.
You know what I mean? 125. Not a lot of guys can make 125.
Yeah.
And I sit perfectly at 133. I don't even have to cut. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm going to have to be the one making a name in the flyweight division at 125. Not flyweight at one championship where it's 135.
For sure.
Because I'm a 25er at heart.
Nice. Well, yeah, bro. Like I said, I see you being super dominant. And, you know, a lot of people are going to have trouble, you know, in the future. So what is as far as your aspirations? I mean, you plan on fighting a bunch before you go pro, or I mean, you already have, you know.
That's not for me to decide.
Right.
I mean, honestly, it is my call at the end of the day. But when my judges think the My coaches think I'm ready. The people I admire, I look up to, I trust. When they think I'm ready, I'll jump in.
Right.
You know what I mean? But right now, I'm just doing me, working on my game, getting better every day as a mixed martial artist.
And where do you train out of again?
Sunrise, Florida.
Sunrise.
With Roger Crawl.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. And you feel like you're growing even from the last fight already?
Oh, leaps and bounds. The thing is, what you saw was like not even 30%. I didn't want to wrestle him. I wanted to use my hands.
Sure.
But the takedown was just so easy. Like,
Right.
And that's the thing as an amateur. I got too gun triggy, you know? But I've grown.
Yeah. So you excited for July 17th?
Oh, yeah, I can't wait, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Honestly, I just want more experience in that cage.
Right.
You know? I mean, I felt at home. I felt chilling. I was doing my thing. But more experience, the better you are long term.
Right. Awesome. Well, yeah, like I said, I'm already a fan, bro. I'm hoping you're going to kill it. So,
Thanks,
like I said, I can't wait.
man.
So, yeah, any shout-outs you want to give?
Honestly, my grandma back home from New York, I haven't talked to her since I've been down here. Just I'm too focused on the game right now. You know, people lose their mind in this game. You know, you're always studying, you're always critiquing, writing your shit down, watching film. But Mima, I love you. Haven't talked to you in a bit. I'll probably call you tonight.
That's what's up.
Word.
That's what sparked the interest of that. So that's good. Hey, tell us a little bit more about your camp, your coaches, and kind of how you meshed up with those guys.
So when I came down here from New York, I went straight to Roger Crawl. It was just out of coincidence, you know, just happened. I was blessed because there's Roger, there's Chuck, my cage wrestling / grappling coach, Mikey Tavares. Honestly, I think I have the best team in the game. And I don't even have like a certain camp yet because we're amateurs, like I said before. But once I do turn up that next level and I start getting camps with these as my coaches, dangerous combination,
Right.
Easily.
That's good stuff, man. Well, it was great learning a little bit more about you,
Yeah,
and definitely seen you in
thank
action
you.
last time out. And,
Yeah.
and everybody, if you were hearing us talk about July 17th, yes, Ryan will be fighting on the July 17th card for us at RIZE at Extreme Action Park. So make sure you come out or tune in and check him out once again and see him with another
One more
victory.
question. You think anyone's going to go past the first round with you?
I want to finish this fight in the second round because I just want to know what it feels like to be in the first round, be in the second round. If it goes to the third round, it kind of has to be finished. Like I said before, if it goes to decision and I win, I still got a lot more work to do. In my eyes, that's a L, a big L.
Right.
You know what I mean? First round, do your thing. The finish is there, great. Second round, try and finish. Don't force it. It'll come. At the end of the day, the W does matter. That's the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
But for these level of guys that I will be competing against and I will be dominating, you can't go 3 rounds amateur.
That's a great way to look at it. It's an amazing way to look at it, actually. So,
Thank you.
So now we're looking for that because you just put a little more pressure on yourself of what you're going to do for us July
Nah,
17th.
there is no pressure. Win or lose, there's no because it doesn't even matter. You know what I mean? It's amateur. Even if it's pro, it doesn't matter because I'm doing what I love to do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. I'm doing me.
Yeah. So we'll look forward to seeing you once again July 17th. If we don't
Thank
talk
you.
to you before that, all right? It's just great talking to you.
A pleasure
Thanks
to be
a lot.
here.
Good seeing you, bro.
Thank
All
you.
right. Take care. I'll grab one. All right. All right, and we are back, everybody. It was just a quick little break right there as Ryan was exiting. And so that was Ryan Ocasio. Again, he won by first round submission on our last fight card. He's going to be fighting for us July 17th at Extreme Action Park. You saw Dylan Inman just before him. We didn't get to see enough of Dylan,
Right.
which is why we're excited to see a little bit more about him, especially now that he's focused on with ACG. And he's actually training with the guy who beat him
Right.
last time out. So he said he's learning quite a bit more. It's interesting to see exactly what he'll be able to bring to the table. Hopefully he can fight on the July 17th card, but there's no guarantee on that one yet. We're working on that.
Okay.
But a couple more fighters in addition to the 4 you saw last week, most of whom will be fighting again on the next card.
Right.
They're getting to know who these guys are at home.
Yeah, no, I was just speaking to Ryan. It's like another day in the office, like it's just business, and it's his job to go out there and finish and do what he needs to do. And, you can be coming from the streets, or you can do all kinds of stuff, but you can be a guy coming from New York, paying for your own trailer park just to make a name for yourself, working at one of the best gyms in Florida.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate people that come out here and just give it their all and just do what they have to do. So.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's the people who make the most sacrifices that are ones that are most dedicated, in my opinion.
Exactly.
So those are the guys that do end up being the most successful,
Right.
because they have a story to write, and they want to open another chapter in that book.
Right.
So it will be interesting to see Ryan's journey as he continues on, and as well as Dylan. You know, again, you know, it's festering in him. I can already see. We were talking beforehand. You know, a couple of months removed from that fight.
Right.
He wants to get back in there and show what he really can do.
I mean, you saw the ring.
I saw the ring. Now, if he could have that ring on when he was in the cage.
Yeah, right. Man, no, it is cool though. I haven't seen I don't think I've seen a Super Bowl ring up close. It's probably one of the closest rings I've seen. You know.
Oh yeah, yeah. A buddy of mine, my neighbor was a Super Bowl champ, and as soon as he got his ring, man, I was right over his house taking pictures, snapping him, ring on my finger.
He would.
Trying to see if I could sneak off, but he's a little quick, man. That's kind of why he won a Super Bowl, so I couldn't run away with it.
That's fine.
But anyway, you know, those are the guys for tonight. Those were our guests. So now that we've kind of gotten that part out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about the fight card that's coming up.
Oh yeah, so we got Trap coming.
Trap.
Back to the Trap.
Here we go.
Yeah, so I'm excited to have him. I believe we have his opponent that he announced. It's Arthur Suggs.
Yeah, Arthur Suggs.
Arthur Suggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see a super heavyweight get in there. He's full of controversy and you know, excitement, and I'm excited to see him, you know, perform.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we've been talking about him for a long time. I almost don't want to keep saying his name because, you know, we want to get right to that point where it actually happens. But, you know, we have been talking to Trap for obviously a really long time. I think most of you watching the show for a while have known that. And for one reason or another, whether it be the pandemic or an opponent pulling out or just, you know, the preparation side of things, we haven't quite been able to get to that point. But it looks likely that July 17th, I never want to make promises, July 17th, he should be on that card. And we'll know a little more as we get closer.
I'm holding that to you, Mike.
That's right. Hold it to me. That I didn't say, I promise.
No, I have a good feeling he's definitely gonna come through. It's gonna be great.
So I mean, amazingly, it looks like a loaded card. I mean, 10, maybe even 12 fights on this one. You know, more than the last time out.
Like I said, we're got a whole bunch in the works, and then we'll see where it lands.
And once again, it'll be kickboxing and it'll be MMA. You're going to have every weight class pretty much this time out. Look, last time we didn't have anything more than a welterweight, right? So this time out, you got super heavyweights.
Heavyweight, I believe we're working on a heavyweight, working on possibly a light heavy, almost every weight class, you know.
Yeah, so which would be nice little variety.
145, like with Ryan. So.
And as we said, again, at Extreme Action Park in Fort Lauderdale on July 17th, and you know, we will be able to allow more fans in this time than last time out. It just remains to be seen exactly how that gets organized. But more people can buy tickets and purchase those tickets online. Because look, it's no other way to do it, right, David?
Exactly.
They have to download the app. Just download that, purchase those tickets right there. Don't think the tickets quite went on sale yet on the app, though. We're working on that.
I don't believe so, but I know during the fight last time, I had people texting me asking me for tables. You know, and it's like I'm in the middle of commentating. You know, and those guys are trying to get tables
Already.
Yeah, so it's always a good idea to get it advanced, and if you don't, make sure you show up early because the line can get long eventually. You know, so
that's true too. That's true too. So we're working on that, but you know, I expect a full house once again. You know, sold out crowd and a lot of action, a lot of activity that night. So that will be our July 17th card. Now let's focus on something else. So I know you've been itching to talk about this since we started the show.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about UFC. It's not even really about boxing. It's something kind of in the middle.
I mean, you can consider it boxing.
I wouldn't. But yeah, we're talking about Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. That fight finally came to fruition. How many months after I first announced that?
Quite a bit.
It was last September, if I'm not mistaken. So we're looking at 9 months since I first said it, and people called me an idiot and telling me they didn't believe me because there's no way it was true.
Right.
After they extended it a couple of times. Finally came to fruition, came together right down here in our backyard in South Miami. And what'd you think?
I think that Logan Paul did extremely well considering the fact that he went against one of the greatest, if not the greatest boxer of all time. You know, Floyd Mayweather's never been a knockout artist, but he definitely has always had cardio, and he's definitely fast and you know, moves everywhere. I mean, Logan Paul necessarily didn't get too many points as far as solid connections, but he was there, you know, and that's something to be said. And you know, I appreciate that. Just knowing that someone that God knows how many people Mayweather's have sparred in his time. You know, 50 fights pro. I don't have his amateur record, but I'm sure it's extensive as well. It's in his blood with his dad. And you get a YouTuber that, what was he, 0-2 or something like that?
Well, it was 0-1 officially as a pro.
Officially as a pro, 0-1. Come and go the distance with the greatest. You know, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people had Logan counted out, but you know, I like that kind of stuff because, you know, like what Logan said afterwards, no one else thought I could do this, you know, and I did it.
Right.
So, you know.
Yeah, it was interesting because, you know, there was, of course, the Chad Johnson fight that happened earlier on. and that was 2-minute rounds. These guys actually put on their 3-minute rounds, which of course is what Floyd is accustomed to doing because it's the right thing to do, fights like that, even though it was an exhibition. They also dropped down from 10-ounce gloves to from 12-ounce gloves down to 10-ounce gloves just about 48 hours before the fight, so things were still going. I know last week we were talking about that. I was surprised that the commission really hasn't come out and made all the rules yet. I still couldn't even tell you how big that ring was. I never heard them announce it early on, but I can tell you it was a smaller ring. It couldn't have been a 22-foot ring. I'm sure of that, guys. It was not 22 feet. So I figured it would be more of that phone booth mentality because I thought Floyd would try to, stick to him and try to keep that keep that distance to a minimum. Obviously, with that reach advantage that Paul had, even overcoming though with that height advantage, reach advantage, youth advantage, all that kind of stuff. I mean, Mayweather did what he had to do, but at the same time, you could just tell, leading up to it and at the point of the fight, Mayweather didn't train even 10% of what he probably would train for like a major championship fight. And I'm making the excuse for him.
Sounds like an excuse.
But I also heard that after the fight was over, those closest to him were saying that his body was very sore. Mayweather was very sore. That may be because he wasn't really training well enough for the fight to be able to better position. But
or he's getting hit by a 196-pound man, compared to like a one,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a big factor. It's a big part of it. So,
and also with Logan leaning on him and stuff like that too, it's not easy carrying someone around.
Yeah, I would definitely say though, Logan went in there without really any expectations for what he could actually do. And the one thing that it did surprise me is that he had the stamina to withstand all 8 rounds, all 8 3-minute rounds, and actually active 8 rounds. There wasn't really any rounds they took off. I didn't see a lot of them just dancing around or just moving or whatever. I mean, Logan did have his hands down quite a bit throughout the fight. Mayweather didn't expose it as much as he possibly could have. I thought I'd see a lot more Mayweather upcuts, just splitting the guard right in between, just because of Logan's inexperience and inactivity. But, it actually looked almost like a fight.
Yeah.
But you knew it wasn't because of the size disparity. That's not how it actually goes. Maybe more of like a WWF type of thing.
I honestly enjoyed it almost as much as the Tyson fight. I mean, truthfully, because they're both considered exhibitions. So, I think that it was almost equivalent in my eyes, just because, I think Logan looked better than both. I'm maybe not good as Tyson, but Jones Jr. I think he almost had more energy than that guy by the end of the expedition.
Yeah,
so,
different age.
Whatever. I mean, he's not a professional boxer either. You know what I mean? So that's just like I said, I'm inspired to do stuff out your realm. You don't have to just do one thing in life. You can do many things, and that's what Logan Paul's saying. So
that's for sure. I mean, I'm sure he'll get back in there and do something again.
But
I will
MMA.
tell you, as far as boxing's concerned, though, on that card, there was quite a boxing match that had. People weren't really paying much attention to it, and I think we talked about that last week. What I was excited to see was going to be Jarrett Hurd, which is a former unified champion at 154, and he was taking on Luis Arias, that people were just writing off with his 2 losses. But I know Arias. This is a kid who trains down here. I've known some of the people that have trained him, and they've always said, watch out what his kid is capable of doing. Probably got a couple of raw deals where he just wasn't prepared for those other couple of fights, but not only did he take it to the former champ, who was much bigger than him, but he dominated him, and he won that fight. I mean, there's no question that every judge saw it that way, and everybody in attendance saw that fight as well. So I'm sure you saw the Arias fight when he beat Jarrett Hurd. So that was a great upset as far as that was concerned, and looks like Arias is ready to step up to the next level. So good for him. Congratulations to him on that win. As far as the Chad Ochocinco fight, I missed it. I didn't see it. I know that he was kind of holding his own for those first 3 rounds, right? But he did get dropped in the 4th round. Right. And it was kind of ho-hum, but something happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
he was in there, like I said, if any professional boxers that you're going against, you're going to have problems, so glad he's doing something, from his NFL career, but we'll see if he comes back to maybe Triller or some kind of
something.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, so there is a Triller card coming up in just a couple of weeks. Actually, it's a week from this Saturday, a week and a half. That's going to be at the Miami Marlins Arena down there, whatever they call that now, because they keep changing names. And that's going to be headlined by Teofimo Lopez, the unified lightweight champ right now. So that's stacking up. They're trying to put that card together. Right now, I couldn't tell you who else is on that card except for Lopez and Cambosos. I want to say his name wrong. Other than that, Holyfield was supposed to be on the card. It's not happening. I don't know who else is on there, but I guess, we'll find out more information. We'll let everybody know about that, too. I do plan on being on for that one.
Awesome.
We'll see what happens, if I'm not bored. But that's the world of combat sports outside of what we're doing. Yeah. So what else you got going on? Any fishing or?
Not too much. You know what? I definitely am thinking about going out on like a drift boat or something soon. Definitely a good idea. But yeah, no. But there's a lot of UFC stuff going on. Israel Adesanya, I believe, fights this next weekend. It should be great. He's going against Vettori, who's an Italian fighter, and if he wins, he'll be the first Italian champion in UFC. There's a lot of good fights coming up that I'm excited about. But I'm so excited about the RIZE card. I can't even think about anything else going on.
That's right. You know, we're definitely preparing everybody for that because it does look like it's going to be quite a stacked card. It's going to be more exciting, possibly more than any other RIZE card we've ever had.
Right, yeah. There's people coming from Colorado, Indiana, everywhere all over the nation.
Traps coming from Vegas.
Vegas,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's
they're
a big
coming from
event.
everywhere. And I heard the possibility of maybe even somebody coming out from the islands somewhere. I won't say which island.
One of them.
But yeah, so that's what we got cooking for you guys. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We hope you got to know our guests just a little bit, Ron Ocasio and Dylan Inman. Look forward to seeing these guys again under the RIZE flag sometime in the near future. We know with Ryan it'll be the 17th of July. With Dylan, maybe. And we'll let you know more as that time kind of starts coming together again. And if you have any questions for anything that we're doing or any of the fighters that we got, you can jump on to David's social media platform there about wanting to fight. If you yourself are a fighter, you can contact him that way or go on the app and fill out the application. Right. If you're interested in being a cage girl, I think we still have the application up for that too. You know, we got a couple of beautiful girls that we've been working with, but I don't know if we're going to change things up just yet. But, you never know. You never know. So any way you want to contact us, just feel free to reach out. So that was our show for tonight. We hope you enjoyed it. On behalf of my partner, David Shore, I'm Mike Feinberg, Armando Gonzalez, Gerardo Ramos in the background. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe. Take care.
Thank you.